If I can go back to 2017 when I first became an eyelash artist, this is the things that I would do differently today in 2023. Hi, I'm Tatiana. I used to be an eyelash artist 5 years, and I recently sold my business. First and foremost, make sure you really want this. Think about it. You're gonna invest so much time, money, and effort into something that it's not to be taken lightly. Lash artistry is a real job, career, and business. No matter whatever anybody else says, it's a legit form of making a sustainable income. I sold it because I got burned out and I was over it, and it wasn't my true passion. I realized that 5 years later. And the thing is, I think while I was in it, I was so obsessed with making just money and making my craft better and better and better. And I did that. I accomplished that. And I thought that's what I wanted. And little did I know, it really wasn't what I wanted. Ask yourself, is this what I really want? Is this the future I want for myself? Because lashing is a ton of commitment. It takes a lot of your time, and honestly it's very tiring and very hard on your body in the long term. So really think about it. Do you really want this? And if you don't, that's okay, but don't invest all the money and time and effort if you're not 100% sure. Courses and education. To learn to be an artist, you don't have to go to esthetician school or cosmetology school or any of those schoolings. You can find an online course or an in-person course training. It just really depends on your style of learning. Before you invest thousands of dollars in a course, my suggestion is get obsessed. Watch as many YouTube videos as you can, as many TikTok videos, you name it. Just dive into all the lash content you can learn possible just by looking. Just by looking, it's gonna give you an idea of like, hey, do I really want to do this or do I not? Because these courses are not cheap. For example, when I first started, my course was $900, but today in 2023 I've seen people charge up to $4,000-$5,000 for a course. It really depends on, are you really ready to invest those thousands of dollars into learning something and sticking with it? Now I know some basic knowledge. Next thing I would do, personally, I would go get my own eyelashes done. I would go into a studio that has a good reputation, and I would look at the environment, get a knowledge of it, see how it looks. Do you like it? Is that something you envision in your life? Once you get your lashes done with this artist, ask her questions. Be like, how long have you been a lash artist? Do you like lashing? What's a tip that you would give for beginner lash artists? And let her know, like, I'm an aspiring lash artist. Like, do you really like this? Or if you can go back in time, would you even do it at all? Ask those questions. Get to know a person that's actually in the industry and hear their perspective of it, you know, before you fully be like, I'm gonna do this 100%, you know. So I would do that. Get to know the industry a little bit better, meet people in it, network with them, understand them, and try to learn something from them. Once you've done that, the next thing I would do is look for courses. And don't just look for one course, look for multiple courses and create like a little spreadsheet of all the courses and what they offer. What is it that you want to learn? Do you want to learn classic, hybrid, or volume? My recommendation is start with one, stick with it, and then the rest of them will become second nature once you learn one. The way I would recommend you to start is start with classic. Classic is the easiest eyelash application you can think of. Easiest. If you can master classic, then you can go ahead and learn volume, and volume will teach you hybrid and all the other style of lashings you can find out there. Another way that I can suggest you to find a course would be going to artist pages that you like and aspire to become like. Go on Instagram and look into other artists. Do you like their work? Would you like your personal work look like their work? So go through that. And sometimes those artists do training, or they showcase and feature whoever trained them, and then you can go to that person that trained them. Because if you like the way they're doing things and their style, and that's something you're trying to achieve, mimic them. Of course, have your own unique flair, because that way you'll get somewhat similar outcome or even better. Of course, everybody learns a little bit different, but if you're trained by the same person, it can help you a lot to achieve your lashing style that you're trying to achieve. I personally was trained by someone who did very natural, subtle eyelashes. I was known for the natural effect, and I'll post a picture here of my work. That way you can see what I used to do and what people would consider natural. So I specialized in the natural effect, so that was my selling point. There's some girls that specialize in the wet look, some girls that specialize in mega volume, some girls that specialize in just classic and nothing else. Find the target that you want to specialize in, and then look for that course to train you to become that. Do your research. What I mean by this, okay, you decided you want to be a lash artist. You thought about it, you're sure you're gonna go for it. Cool. Who is your audience? I talk a lot about this because now that I know a lot about marketing and audience and your demographics and all that, I realize that you need to understand who you want to target and who do you want to work with long term. Okay. Let's say, for example, you want to target only women between the ages of 25 and 45. Some of these ladies are a group of full-time mothers, stay-at-home moms, stay-at-home wives. Another group of them is going to be a group of students, let's say the age of 18 through 25. Another group is going to be just girls in between, like corporate girls between 21 and 35. So you have a little good diversity right there, right? Now you determine the type of girl you're going to target, the age group you're going to target. You have 3 age groups, 3 different categories of females. Some are moms, some are wives, some are corporate girlies, and some of them are students. 4 girls between the ages of 18 and 45. And you can subcategorize each category. From there, you're going to determine what are the interests of these girls and work your way backwards of who your ideal or client is. And why I say this is because once you start building your clientele, these ladies are going to follow you for years to come if they love your work. So if you choose them correctly, you'll never have to go through a firing process. And I can get into that later on. Let's say you found your target audience, you found out their age, their gender, what they work in. Now let's find their interest. Once you find their interest and what they like, what their hobbies are, where do they like to eat, where do they like to shop, all these little things are important, because once you narrow it down, you have your ideal target audience, your ideal person. Now, what do these girlies' incomes look like? How much are they making? You know, break it down. So these are your income brackets for your target audience, right? So now you know these little details about your ideal clientele, right? Now, how much do you want to make? What is your goal as a lash artist? How much is your annual or monthly income goal? Let's say your goal is to make 100K a year. Great. That's definitely doable as a lash artist. So with that, let's divide it by 12 months. So 100K divided by 12, that equals $8,334 a month. Divided by 30 days, that equals $277.80 per day. That's with you working 7 days a week, okay? So from there, you can narrow it down to your price. What I'm getting to is how much do you want to charge per client, per service? Your end price goal. Determine that. Let's say each classic full set, you want to charge $185. $185 for full set, classic. This is your end goal, okay? $200 for hybrid and $250 for volume. You can make these prices whatever you want. Maybe my prices maybe a little bit higher, maybe a little bit lower for your personal liking, but you choose what you want. Have in mind, these are for full sets. From there, decide what your filled price will be. Okay? So now you decided, this is gonna be my classic, my hybrid, my volume. These are my prices and my megas if you do mega, whatever you do. You decided your prices. That's your end result. That's your end goal. Now you decided your end goal price. You're charging $185 for a classic full set. That's your end goal. Now divide those $184 by 4, which equals to $46.25. Why I divided by 4 is because every 4 months you're gonna up your price $46.25, because every 4 months your work is improving and getting better and better and better. So every 4 months, you can go ahead and update your prices and let your customers or clients know, hey, every 4 months, I do change my prices, just letting you know, because every 4 months, my work is getting better and better. And I just want my prices to reflect my work. Something in those lines. You can choose every 4 months, every 3 months, every 2 months, whatever works best for you, depending on your end goal for your prices for your services. And then whatever you charge for a full set, at the beginning I would always just charge the same. Don't have differences between full set and fills. I would just change the timing because you're still learning, and regardless, a full set in the beginning, it's still going to take you as long as a fill will. So at the beginning, I would just charge all services the same, just because you're barely starting, but still are getting the practice and the work in. To wrap it up, now you know how to pick a course. You also understand what it takes to become a lash artist, and you understand what it is that you need prior to beginning your journey. And you understand now how much you want to make and what your end goal is, right? So you're working your way towards that. So that's why I say work backwards from the end to forward, right? Because that way you can determine how you want to go about positioning yourself when you start taking clients. So now you know how much you're going to charge when you first start, how much you actually want to end up earning, and you know what you're working towards. And it will be a way for you not to get discouraged, because in the beginning it takes some time to get some momentum going, but don't give up. Don't worry, you got this. If you have any questions that I didn't cover or anything, please leave them down in the comments down below. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share. Thank you so much for watching. Mwah.